Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, welcome. We are so happy to have you join us today for our Learning Journeys Educational Seminar Symposium, The Lens of Light. And we have quite a treat here today because we have two of our master teachers, the maestro, Lawerence White, and the Instagram sensation, Jared Middleton. So I wanted to just take a minute to introduce you to our master teachers, and I'm so grateful for them being here today with us. And then we're going to go into the presentation. So just as a housekeeping tip, presentation will be about 30 to 35 minutes. Plenty of time for questions after. If our maestro and our Instagram star need to jump off, they will. But first, we're going to review the portfolio, talk to you a little bit about Learning Journeys and the great programs that these two gifted individuals bring to Learning Journeys. And then we'll go into some of our really unique bucket list photography opportunities. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you. If I hit the right button, I can share my screen. There we go. And I am going to start this from the beginning. I don't know why it's moving on its own. Our slideshow. And I'm going to start from the beginning. Here we go. So I'm just going to take a quick look to see if anyone else is waiting in the waiting room before can everybody see that?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to just take a quick look in the waiting room to make sure nobody else is waiting. And we are going to get started. So welcome to the Lens of Light, the ultimate photography learning expeditions. If you're not familiar with Learning Journeys, we'll quickly review what we do and who we are. I fell in love with that polar bear, honestly. I am not an outdoors kind of gal, but I will go to the Arctic to take pictures of that polar bear. And Lawerence White actually inspired me to want to learn how to take pictures, and so did Jared Middleton, so in his style. So they'll talk about their unique styles in just a minute. So welcome to Traveling Classrooms. We are very different than what you might know in the market that offer either expedition travel or kind of bucket list travel. We're an educational organization that blends true education with master teachers with the opportunity to see the world. So our focus always is prominent on learning. What will you learn when you travel with us? The whole point is to take that interest and combine it with seeing the world. So welcome to Learning Journeys, Traveling Classrooms. I'm Dr. Carol Demopoulos. I am the founder and CEO of Learning Journeys. I am also an educator. So education is very, very important to me. Educating your clients, educating the world, because without education, we don't open our mind. Every little nugget of information that we learn can serve not only ourselves, but also the society as a whole. That picture was taken of me in Ethiopia visiting a school, and it was very, very powerful to me to just have this random interaction with these students who were visiting a museum I was at. And that basically sums up the magic of education. They were there for educational reasons, and also the magic of being in another destination. So why is it easier to learn something when you're outside of your environment? Think about it. If you're trying to practice a skill in your home, you get distracted. But if you're completely doing it as a retreat or a bucket list experience, your whole focus is on the learning. So that's why the learning takes traction when you do it in the form of being away from your environment. The good news is we actually have some blended programs with Lawerence White where where you're actually having both experiences of taking that learning back to your home, but still having that in-person immersion. So our brand is built on 4 pillars. Transformation, because our job is to help you and the industry transform, but also your clients, to help them to truly find the transformative experience. We're coming out of a very, very difficult period, and people are going to be experiencing a lot of PTSD as they come out of this experience, and they're going to be looking for something else. Many have been displaced. There's a huge feeling of displacement in the world globally. So there's going to be a need for people and a want for people to go and transform and heal. Education is paramount. The level of education is beyond anything that you will find in both the educational industry and also in the tourism industry. Exploration, you can't really learn unless you get out there and have that hands-on practical experience from your learning. But most of all, self-reflection, because it's what you take away from the educational experience, how you externalize it through the practice, but then how you internalize it with your own self-realization. And in just a few minutes, you're going to hear these master artists talk about their experiences with Learning Journeys clients and how it really, their experience with the photographers changed their lives. So briefly on our mission and vision, we are traveling classrooms, learning travel focused on adult learners. When I say adult, I also mean families. And you'll see in a minute, we have some great family photography programs, satisfying the needs of lifetime learners who are also travelers. So in the industry, we don't think of that. We're just trying to target people who travel. But I encourage you, when someone new comes through your lines, or if you're meeting with a new client, to ask them, what do you like to learn? Because from that, you can build a lifelong relationship, because then you're an expert. We want you to be Learning Journeys experts, because we as educators want you to be educated in what you're presenting in the world. So responsible experiences are at the core of our commitment. We only engage in activities that contribute to the local societies, as well as protect the natural environment. A portion of all program proceeds go to programs such as business grants for women in developing countries through AWIU, American Women for International Understanding. Arts and language preservation, very important to us, to preserve the art in destinations, and also the native languages which are going away. We contribute to these funds, and societies which protect human rights globally, from human trafficking to childhood education. So know that when you're working with Learning Journeys and when your clients are registering for our programs, you're also giving back to the world in a substantive manner. So our photography programs are so unique. Our world-renowned photographers, and I mean that when I say that, they're going to enrich your client's view of the world through adding their technical skills, from Nat Geo photographers in Arctic Canada, India, and Africa, to iconic Rolling Stone photographer and ballet photographer, and many, many more, which Sir Lawerence White will talk to you about, and our Disney photographer in North America and Japan. We're going to help you identify new options to offer to your clients, which will feed their interests and their soul. So joining us today, as I introduced you, are two master photographers, Lawerence White and Jared Middleton. Our commitment is to focus on interests through offering exclusive master teachers. These teachers work only for Learning Journeys, and because they believe in our principles, and responsible learning is at the key of what we do. So I'm just going to briefly run through the healthy portfolio that we have, the curriculums that we have for photography, for your photography clients. So we're going to start with learning the art of toy photography in Lake Placid, which is a very short, brief winter, a very short domestic program, which is going to be offered this fall. We just had one in May. We have another one coming up. Also, next year, Jared will be going to Japan because there's no better destination to really capture that anime and toy photography feel than in the destination. Japan is opening now, so we're confident that by 2022, it will be fully open and we'll be able to facilitate this program. Masterclass, The Lens of Light, Lawerence White, right here in Saratoga Springs. Lawerence offers an extremely unique program insofar as he mentors the clients, your clients, before they even get here. So they're having a full immersion into learning photography from Lawerence's eye, from his vision. So 2 virtual classes are included pre-program. They travel here to the destination and Lawerence works with them one-on-one. And then there's a post-program to help to really to continue to build their skills. So it's an ongoing mentorship with Lawerence. Some of the other programs we have this summer, Southern Utah Photography and Geology Retreat, which is run by a separate photographer who couldn't be here today. And our Uber bucket list, off the chart, unbelievable experiences are Birds, Bear, and Belugas Summer Safari in 2022, the Great Ice Bear Safari. I'm going to show you the video a little bit later so that you can kind of get a feel of what we're talking about here. The Cloud Wolves of the Alaska Coast, a very, very unique, really once in a lifetime photography experience. It's also great for people who are scientists. Sold out for this year. So we're waiting for the dates for next year to publish it. And coming soon, we know that India is in lockdown, but let's look forward. We know that India will be opening at some point in 2022 and onwards. So we have the ultimate Everest and Himalayan photography experience with a National Geographic photographer, as well as Faces of India and Tigers in Tea. All of these are done on the ground. That's what makes this different. We are not doing these experiences on a cruise where you're up on a polar buggy looking down at the polar bears. You are so close to the polar bears that you can actually smell their breath. That's the way that these photographers talk to us about these programs. You are face to face with these beautiful creatures in an ethical and responsible manner. You cannot get this on an expedition cruise. So I'm going to move right into our first master teacher, Lawerence White. I asked Lawerence for a photograph. He said, I take pictures. I don't like to send my pictures, but I got him to send me one. So he's an iconic name in photography. Really one of our, I call him the maestro, our master teachers. From Rolling Stone to Vogue, he's created incredible photography that has made such an imprint on the world. Just a few of his images. I'm sure that you've seen them. And just to give you an overview of his style, and then a little bit more, beautiful ballet photography, and Lawerence will tell you more about his own skills. But let me first talk to you about his program. So in enrolling in this course, you get 5 master classes and personal mentorship with a legendary photographer, 2 pre-program, 2 on person, and 1 post online. 5 nights right here in Saratoga Springs. There's no better place during the fall than upstate New York, the Adirondacks. Breakfast, a dinner orientation, you get a food experience, and because these are courses, you always get our certification of course completion. Price per point, $20.96 for sharing, and the solo is $20.25. Lawerence is also available, and he has worked with us on private experiences if you have a client that has a special interest. So I am going to turn this over to Lawerence now to talk a bit about his experience, his background, and thank you, Lawerence. It's all you.
Well, thank you, Carol. I'm excited to be part of this project because of my own personal experiences in traveling. I've always found that when I travel and I work with the people who are in the location, I end up getting a lot more out of the experience. I'm getting insights and flavors and textures I wouldn't be able to get if I was just skimming the surface. So that's one of the reasons I'm excited in doing this. Um, Carol mentioned my credentials, and I've been very fortunate. I've worked professionally for over 40 years, had a studio in New York City for nearly 30 years. And I've worked with some of the greatest photographers and publications in the world. But I must tell you that when I first started studying photography in junior college, I flunked. Um, I was literally kicked out of the class. I couldn't keep up with the factors and numbers. I have the heart of a poet. I don't have the brain of a mathematician. And I think this is what hangs up a lot of people that would normally love photography is all the numbers and factors and oh my gosh, it just overwhelming. How do you get into it? Well, it wasn't until years later, after military service, that I met a gentleman who simplified it in such a way that I literally learned how to use the darkroom, the old fashioned wet darkroom, in an afternoon, really in an hour. And I was able to go to an art school in San Francisco in the early 70s at a time when almost every major photographer that was alive came through the school, not to teach us per se, but to work and have us help them and be with them and discuss these concepts of photography. And they broke it down into terms that was intuitive and basic and quick. I could understand right away. And within 6 years of meeting the first gentleman that taught me the darkroom, I was working at Rolling Stone and then ended up moving to New York from San Francisco and having this long career. So it was a gift to me that was given, and I'd like to pass that gift along. My teaching system is so basic that it's really 3 things on the camera, 10 things in the digital darkroom. And once you learn these things, you're free to grow and go wherever you want. I call it getting on the boat. Once you're in the boat, you can take it anywhere that you want to. Usually my students pick up on it within the first hour, 90 minutes. And from that point on, they grow geometrically. The way that we're teaching through learning journeys is to have a short series of online classes initially, and then 2 on-site sessions. We're actually out in the light capturing some of the most beautiful scenery in the world and some of the best light I've ever seen. And coming here at a time where Saratoga is an active place, so there's always something happening. So it's an experience for the people that I believe lasts a lifetime. And I think if you spoke to them, they would say the same thing, that once they're done with the initial course, they just don't see things in the same way. And photography, instead of becoming an obstacle, becomes the tool of enjoyment that they really want it to be.
Beautifully said, Lawrence. That is just incredible, and I can vouch for that because last month Lawrence worked with a radiologist who was just really very desperate. He was at a very difficult point in his life.
Jammed up is what he said.
Jammed up, exactly. So he Googled experts in photography, in how to learn photography, and he found a specific travel advisor who said that she was an expert in photography. And sure enough, she knew who to call. She called Learning Journeys. So we were able to connect this physician. He was a radiologist, and he said, he was jammed up and he didn't know what else to do. And he thought that photography would be a great transition because he worked with film his whole life. But he bought a very expensive camera and didn't know how to use it. So he found his way to Learning Journeys, and he found his way to Lawerence. And I can't tell you, we don't do this work for money. We do this work because it is a satisfaction of the soul. And the gift that Lawerence gave this radiologist is something that you can't describe in words. And he's actually coming back to study with Lawerence again in the fall. So, and Lawerence, if you have any other additional tidbits to add to that.
Well, he was a great example of what I experienced. I like people who come to me that really want to learn. You know, they're not necessarily desperate, but I guess you could call it that. They want to do photography, they just don't know how. And after the first hour or so, you can literally see the light go on, bing, and they go, ah. And of course, there's more growth. I mean, I've been doing it over 40 years. I'm learning every day. I had to transition from film to digital, but it's a continuing process. It turns out it wasn't interrupted. And as a result of that, now using the digital tools, it's even easier and I think more accessible for the student. I encourage the students as the process going on to send me their JPEGs. You know, low res them, send them to me. I can see what they're doing and we can discuss it online. So really there are sessions, but we're discussing the photography in between the sessions so that the process of growth goes on. And many of them become my friends too. And I've seen them become professional photographers, which is cool. I always tell them it's the enjoyment factor is number one. And if you're here to enjoy it, that's number one. I can't teach anybody how to be a professional photographer, but I can show you how to be good enough that maybe you could add on a few dollars to your income if you wanted to. So, you know, there's practical purposes and there are spiritual purposes to this. And it's something that I really enjoy doing.
That is beautiful. And it really is a gift to have you as one of our master teachers, Lawerence. And thank you for sharing your gift.
Thank you for the opportunity.
We're very grateful. So if anyone has any questions, if Lawerence has to jump off, I'm happy to get back to you. I'll take questions at the end. But now we are going to transition from one style of photography to a very unique style of photography. And before I do this, I want to tell you that we have, because I'm a researcher and I work with data, I don't work on hearsay. What we hear in the industry and the trades is very skewed. So we do our own research, and we found that photography is the most searched of all hobbies, 100% globally. But even more than that, the most Googled search we found, and we were stunned, is toy photography. So that is going to lead us into a huge Instagram celebrity, Jared Middleton, better known as Sir Dork. Fascinating. It's where Lawerence's photography is expansive. Jared focuses on really small figure photography, and I'm going to let him share that with you in just a second. Just as an overview, he's a very famous toy photographer who brings toys to life. So if you've seen Star Wars and some of, you know, Mountain Dew, and you see these what look like life-size figures, they're not, they're actually little. So that picture on the left is Jared doing a shoot, which will eventually blow up into what you see on the poster. It looks like a life-size person. I've never seen anything like it. He's got a huge following. He's so gifted. And that's a picture of Jared working with a young man who just idolized Jared. So these programs are perfect for your families. So many kids are interested in Star Wars and figures and even in the Japan program, things like anime. So really profound effect. And again, I will let Jared put this into his own words, but just to tell you a little bit about his two programs that we have. Uh, First one is Learn the Art of Photography in Lake Placid. It's a very short immersion. So it's 2 nights at the Mirror Lake Inn. Great place for photography, great trails, daily breakfast, learning journeys certificate. And we actually have sponsorship. So Jared gives out these cool gifts that are given to him as sponsored gifts. So that's our first, and that's happening in October. It's almost sold out. I think that we have 2 or 3 more spots. Again, perfect for families. We have mostly families and their child or children. Next year in 2022, as I mentioned when we opened up, we feel that Japan will be open in 2022. We've postponed this program for 2 years now. Tons of interest. So we want to make sure that if you have families, think of this. It's so unique. Stop offering the same thing. Offer an experience where a family can go and learn and have a takeaway, a potential career, a potential entry to college. That's what we do at Learning Journeys in all of our categories, not just in photography. So this is going to be a really amazing program with 5 workshops in toy photography. And they're also learning about anime. And we're traveling throughout Japan and we're getting those really immersive shots in the destination that you would never, ever have access to. So that's happening June 12th of 2022. And I'll talk to you about how to book this. I mentioned at the beginning, I don't know if you saw the slide, the pricing, but we have a full interactive website that allows you to book your clients right online. I'll show you how to do it. And really think about these programs. You'll find a full detailed list of exactly what they'll be doing, but you will be amazed to find out how many families have students and their children are interested in this. So I am actually going to turn this over to Jared Middleton now, Sir Dork, to talk a little bit about toy photography and Learning Journeys and the experience he had.
Well, thanks, Carol. Yeah, I'd love to talk all about it. But yeah, hi, my name's Jared, and I'm a toy photographer, and I've really only been kind of doing it for maybe the past like 7 years or so. But just within the last 3 years, I have been fortunate enough to work with some companies like Disney, Star Wars, like even Mountain Dew as a product photographer, and then even some smaller toy companies as well. But I've also been able to kind of like share my work and teach others as well, like online with Instagram and YouTube. And I've been fortunate enough to have an amount of following where I can kind of inspire people, which is really just the coolest thing ever, knowing that like I could make something and then someone else goes and goes and does it themselves and they fall in love with it just like I did. And it's really kind of cool. So one of the reasons why I'm so excited to do this program and be a part of this program is I can actually be showing and kind of teaching in person as opposed to through a video that I made or something like that. And then we did actually, we had one already. We had our first one in Lake Placid, which was such a fantastic experience. We had the greatest group of guys ever really coming and joining us. Like, so right here we got Colden, which I met him and I could tell he was just so into this kind of thing, just because all of the different little the things I recommend in my videos, he had those same exact things and had the same kind of style that I try to do with my photos as well. And he was all about it. And it was just really cool to do that with him and kind of help get him to where he wanted to be with his toy photography. And it was fantastic. And he came along with his dad, Todd, who, he brought Colden along because Colden loves it, but deep inside Todd loved it too. Like he was totally there. He was having a great time. He was bringing different things in to help Colden out with his shots, helping him with setting up and everything. It was just fantastic, just seeing that happen. And also just see like his father being so supportive in this great, fantastic art form that does seem a little bit weird to some people, but he was totally into it. It was really, really cool. But toy photography in general is just it is very, very unique. And at first glance, you kind of think about it, and it's like, okay, you're just kind of taking a picture of a toy. It's kind of weird, but it's more just like you're taking something you love. Like if you are such a big fan of Star Wars or whatever the heck you're into, you're taking this thing that you are so passionate about, and you're bringing it to life, and you're taking a photo of it, but you're also creating an environment for it, and you're making it look real and just bringing life to this thing, which is really a unique kind of feeling that you can't really do with a lot of other art forms. So it definitely differs a lot from what you would think of normal traditional photography, but it also at the same time it's all kind of together. And I really like to think of it as a very approachable kind of art form or hobby to get into, because anyone's got a toy. Anyone who is into this kind of thing has something that they could use for this, whether it be just a figure you just picked up at Walmart recently, or it's something you had from back in the 70s when Star Wars first came out. You got the original figures and you want to do something with those. Everyone has that. And then also everyone has either a phone or a camera or something that can take photos. And most people who are really into this kind of thing start out with just a phone, and then they build their way up to getting something that can, you can adjust settings with and actually take a little bit stronger of a photo with. And then you kind of develop these really, really valuable skills with toy photography to, start out something that's just a little hobby, bringing something to life that can turn into something that could even have career potential. Like when I first started, I was just taking pictures with my phone. And then a few years later, I was taking pictures of Star Wars toys for the new Mandalorian season coming out for Disney, which was amazing, which is so amazing. So it's really a very valuable art form, skill, hobby. And it's just a super joyful one as well. And then another very unique thing about toy photography is that there is a very, very active and passionate community revolving it online. So if it's something you're getting into and you're really loving it, there's tons of people you can share your work with online that are just like ready to see your work and ready for you to see their work, and you can grow together. And that's actually one of the ways I've really I think learned and developed my skills, just learning from other people online as well. It's a really cool community and group of people to be a part of. So just the fact that these programs exist with Learning Journeys is just it's so cool. It's so cool that this is even a thing. So I'm super happy to be a part of it. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Jared. And if you go to our website, you can actually go through the experience of the weekend. We have it as part of our blog, so you can check in and you can share it with your clients. And really interesting. So, Jared, why don't you share your Instagram handle and how people can find you? So when these great travel advisors are promoting your program, they can refer people to your site to see what you do.
Of course. Well, my kind of online brand name I go by is Sir Dork. So all of my information is on sirdork.com. And then really any social media, especially Instagram, you can find me at SirDork730.
Yes, and you'll find a lot there on his Instagram, because he's got like 1 million followers on TikTok. He's just he's incredible. So two completely different styles. Jared, Sir Dork is amazing for people interested in specialty photography. Lawerence is an iconic photographer, so he can really both have their unique styles. So it depends on what your client is looking for, and in both cases, your clients will get ongoing mentorship. That's the thing about Learning Journeys. It's not a one and done. We're an educational organization that keeps your clients engaged, and then hopefully onto other programs, which of course will keep them loyal to you. So thank you so much, Jared and Lawrence. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm just going to run through the rest of the portfolio now. Again, if you have any questions for Lawrence or Jared, they can hang out, or I know both are very, very busy. So if they need to go, I can send the questions to them. Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Thank you
Have a
so
great
much.
day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. So now I'm going to move into the other photography programs that we have. And people are traveling. That is the good news. We are absolutely thrilled. We know people are traveling. Things are opening up slowly. So again, data driven. You may see a lot of our trade members out and about in Paris and Morocco, and we still don't see those coming back full force until really the end of the year or the beginning of next year when people are secure. But let's think towards 2022 and beyond. We have amazing programs that I'm going to walk you through now. But this year we have a great, and this year and part of our master portfolio, we have a fantastic Southern Utah Geology Retreat program that is very, very focused on yet another style of photography, which is landscape photography. So Phil Douglas is again a master teacher and a wildlife researcher. So he's been working for over 32 years in the canyons in Utah, and he works exclusively for us on our journeys. He will really work with your clients to make sure that, number one, they know how to use their camera, because these programs are good for learners of all levels. So you can feel confident in promoting these programs to people who don't know anything about photography, to the most experienced. And why is that? Because we have small groups. The group size varies from program to program. Jared's programs, the maximum are 12 to 16. Tokyo, the Japan trip, will have 16. Lake Placid is 12. We keep it very small. Lawerence only works with a maximum of 4 learners at a time. So you're really having that exclusive experience. Again, we're happy to do private programs, customized programs based on what your clients are looking for. These are not cheap experiences, but they're experiences that will really enhance someone's professional aspiration, hobbies, and life. So our Southern Utah Photography and Geology Retreat, our maximum on this is 12. So, so you have our learning, our expert with you the whole time. We include hotels, of course, breakfast, lunches, and 2 dinners, entrances to all activities, and of course, the Learning Journey certification. All of these programs are on our website in detail. They explain everything and how each program gives back. So I really encourage you to go on. Our time is limited. I could talk to you all day about our programs. But I want to run through some of these really, really cool experiences. Now, for your ultimate photographer, people who have done everything and been everywhere, we have the ultimate, don't change yet. I want to look at this guy all day. We have the ultimate polar bear safaris. These are face-to-face. And if some of you weren't joining us at the beginning, I want to tell you that we are one of the only, we're the only educational operator that offers this face-to-face. This is not done on a cruise. You're not in a polar buggy. You are face-to-face. We are out in the middle of nowhere, out in Churchill, all the way in Arctic Canada. And if I have any Canadian agents on here, you'll know where it is. You are face to face, so close, as I said, the photographer says you can actually hear these beautiful animals breathing. And we have several Nat Geo photographers that run these programs for us. Again, listed in detail. I would be here all day if I went into every nuance, but I would love to. That's some of the photography. I don't want to get to the good one yet. That's what your clients will see. They will be out in one of the most remote areas of the world, and truly it is pristine. This area is undisturbed. There is no other experience on the planet that will offer your clients this type of immersion. And we also offer it in the summer. We have the Great Ice Bear, which I'm going to show you a video on in a second. Hopefully it works. But we also have bears, belugas, bears and belugas, which are in the summer. So you can actually, there's a myth. People think they can only see polar bears in the winter. It's not true. You can see polar bears in the summer too. So Arctic in the summer is absolutely a spectacular experience. Of course, if you want to go in the winter, it's a completely different experience. So if you have a client that's interested and wants to, has been everywhere, has done everything, these are fly-in destinations. There is no other way to get there. We charter the flights that bring the clients into these destinations. It is not commercial. It is not done on a cruise. We are not disturbing the environment. It is 1,000,000% responsible experiences at its best, with true naturalists who are native to the environment and are Nat Geo photographers. So I'm going to try and show this to you if I can. Let me see if I can play this. You probably won't hear sound, but let me see if it works, because I would really, really like you to see this. Nah, don't go yet. That's kind of what it looks like, but here, okay. So no sound, but just watch. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. And I actually cry every time I see that, because I'm so inspired by these just absolutely majestic, beautiful, beautiful creatures that we must work on preserving and learning. And the purpose of our learning experience is to learn more so that we can help preserve them in their natural environment. This is their natural environment, undisturbed. So really up close and personal with these beautiful creatures. We have another off the chart experience, the cloud wolves of the Alaska coast, where you're seeing wolves. You're actually moving with the wolves. So you're learning about their experience. You're learning about their life. And also, of course, with the others, you will be seeing polar bears along the way and northern lights. And just, I can't even tell you the level of experience that these photographic safaris offer to your clients. So, we will have our 2021 dates are sold out. So we will be looking to add the 2022 dates very, very shortly. Again, these are for your clients who have been everywhere, who are interested in something really, really bucket list. And this is the trend. People have been inside, they want to be out, they need to be out. So let's move into Everest and India as in 2022. So this again is one of our Nat Geo photographers. He sent me a picture of himself in the US, which is fine. But he is very, very well known for shooting natural safari. He's very well known for his tigers and also his Faces of India programs. So I'm just going to run through some of his imagery with you and give you an idea of what your clients may anticipate on these programs. We have not yet launched these programs, so you will not see them on the website, but within 2 weeks, they will be there for 2022. We do have the Ultimate Everest Base Camp program. And that is with our Nat Geo photographer, small group, maximum of 6, done in a very ethical and responsible way. I am a very big supporter of sustainability, particularly in Nepal. When it comes to the Sherpa community, I wrote a piece that was published in many different places about the Sherpas, about Sherpa lifestyle, and why it's so important to preserve it. So if any of you are interested in reading it, you can just Google Dr. Carol Demopoulos, The Majesty of Everest, and read it, or I'm happy to send it to you. It is important that we preserve the Sherpa tradition because it's a life for them and they're very proud, but it's also very important that we are responsible, and people do want to see these bucket list iconic places. So very easy. Our website is spectacular. It kind of guides you through the different programs, whether your focus is photography or culinary, language, dance. We are learning. So really get into the mentality of working with us to create and speak to your audience that may be interested in specific types of programs. We can design little postcards for you. So if you know people want those bucket list photography experiences, we can create little postcards for you to send out. We can host webinars with your top clients. Again, these are really very exclusive programs. So we want to be there. If you want to have a one-on-one with one of your clients, we're happy to be on board. These are your programs. We're behind the scenes, so we want to support you in every way. Couple of ways to book with us, very easy. You can book on our website, 15% commission on all of our programs, 10% on the polar expeditions. You can book right on our website. You can enter your name and IATA number under reference, and we will know that it's you. And of course, you will get your credit and your commission. Of course, you can always call us. We love to talk to you. Our team of educators are waiting to talk to you. Our phone is there, info@Learning Journeys. And really, and this is an investment in knowledge. This is an investment in people's futures. Think about this when you're talking to your client base. Create a specific list who is interested, who has special interests that you can then target. Our programs all have departure dates. We can also customize and privatize if you have special interest groups. With my academic credentials, we can open doors that are not opened for many people. So please consider the groups that you might have as well, special interest and targeting them. Researchers are a great one. Your gardening clubs. We have a wonderful guide that she's a young woman. She's a horticulturist and she's lived in Paris and London, and she guides our gardening groups. So think about both in our online booking. All these programs are available, guaranteed departures on most. And we have many, many different categories that we'll be talking to you about in the coming weeks, including unplugged experiences, women's experiences, art experiences. But remember, photography is now #1 searched on the list. So I thank you for your time. We're here to support you. The last thing I'm going to tell you is we have a great pay over time program called Uplift. So if you have clients that are interested in our program and want to be able to pay over time, they can do that with Uplift. So please, we'll use that as a selling feature when you're mentioning our programs. I personally am happy to speak to any of your clients interested in these programs, as well as all of our master teachers. So if you have a family that really is interested in toy photography, Sir Dork will get on the phone or get on a video call with them. We're here to support you, to help you to grow your business, as well as for us to open the world for people responsibly, creating economic opportunities. Now, as we come out of the pandemic more than ever, we need to be broad-minded. And I thank you so much for your time. And I am going to see if I'm going to stop sharing, and I am going to, hi, everybody. I can see you again. I am going to take questions. Let me see in the chat box. Oh, Terry had to leave early, but you can just unmute yourself. If someone has a question, we are happy to answer it. And really, thank you so much for your time. Or any questions that may come up, you can just, I am Carol at Learning Journeys. Send me an email. And thank you, Kate. Thank you so much. We really want to help to continue the conversation. And we look forward to working with you. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day. This is being recorded. So if you didn't catch the beginning, we'll give you a chance to watch it again. So thank you. Have a pleasant day and keep learning. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Deborah. You're very welcome. Have a good day.